Aloha, this is lesson 359 from A Course in Miracles with Hope Johnson. God's answer is some form of peace. All pain is healed, all misery replaced with joy. All prison doors are open, and all sin is understood as merely a mistake. Father, today we will forgive your world and let creation be your own. We have misunderstood all things, but we have not made sinners of the holy sons of God. What you created sinless so abides forever and forever. Such are we, and we rejoice to learn that we have made mistakes which have no real effects on us. Sin is impossible, and on this fact, forgiveness rests upon a certain base more solid than the shadow world we see. Help us forgive, for we would be redeemed. Help us forgive, for we would be at peace. And that concludes the text. So God's answer is always peace. There's no exceptions to this. No matter what form your question takes. And remember, what's the question? Fear, confusion, sorrow, pain. That's automatic. That's an automatic call for love. God's answer does not vary. It's always peace. You just have to know this is the answer you want. You want the answer that's always peace and not the answer that's always sorrow. You may have different forms of situations. That doesn't matter. The content of God's response is constant. Rest, release, correction, joy. This is how pain gets undone. All the things that speak to pain, confusion, concern, worry, regret. Once again, this lesson, like many lessons, is insisting that all of your pain is already healed and all your misery is replaced with joy. Peace doesn't conquer pain. It's not like that. It's revealing that the pain had no real cause. You imagined it. Peace dissolves your suffering. Sort of the way the light dissolves darkness. That's a good symbol. When the light is present, there's no darkness. When peace is present, there's no suffering. It does this without any effort. It is what it is. Being what it is, it resolves all your pain, fear, and sorrow. We got the prison door again in this lesson. That's fun. Forgiveness opens prison doors. Isn't that a joy? And those doors are only imagined to be shut in the first place. That's why forgiveness swings them open. Remember what forgiveness is. What I thought happened didn't happen. Also, this thought doesn't mean anything. It's also forgiveness. Forgiveness restores your vision, showing that there is nothing to defend against, nothing to accuse. So that's why this is the constant practice with forgiveness. You get to the point where you forgive everything before it even occurs. Like, oh yeah, that's forgiven. Some things may seem like they're more troublesome than others. Attachment. I know attachment in relationships, that emotional attachment, that can feel really hardcore, right? It's still the same. It's still as meaningless as can be, but it can grip you. You got emotional attachment. All of a sudden, the person isn't acting the way you think they should act. Forgiveness. They do not do anything. They're reading a script for you. That's forgiveness, recognizing that's what's going on. See that? Keep practicing that over and over and over again, even when it's hard. When it's hard, just give a little nod in that direction. Am I seeing this clearly? I can't be if I'm upset, if I'm feeling upset, if I'm feeling dependent. So sin is understood in this lesson. It's not being punished. It's just understood as a mistake. It talks about sin in here. It's not real. Error is correctable. Sin is not real. See, understanding sin as an error, that makes it something that is not being condemned. It's not even condemnable. It's correctable, not condemnable. See that? When you accept that, forgiveness is effortless because you're no longer fighting the illusions. You're no longer making them out to be powerful. You're just letting them be corrected. The whole world is arising in our mind, and it's healed when we stop insisting that our interpretation of it is true. That's why it says in there, we have misunderstood all things. Not some things, all things. So today's practice is about letting go of our interpretations, allowing creation to be seen as God created it, innocent, whole, harmless. Every answer God gives is peace, and we want God's answer now. So we can use this lesson whenever any kind of internal pressure arises, fear, irritation, misery, regret, pain, tension, all these different names for fear. So for morning alignment, invite clarity. Let every question I ask today be answered by peace. Just make that your blanket for the day. You're looking for every question. What's a question again? A question is a call for love. A question is any kind of upset. Turn that into a question. How do I see this differently? And let this be answered by peace. Sit for about a minute or more if you feel it. And let God's promise, the steadiness of God's promise, be made known to you. Let every question I ask today be answered by peace. And throughout the day, notice when there's a misunderstanding, any tension, any concern, even the slightest irritation. This is a misunderstanding. And God's answer is peace. That'll reframe your grasp on the ego's interpretation. It'll loosen it up for you. In the evening, reflect. Where did peace arise today? Where did forgiveness open one of those prison doors? What moment showed you that sin was merely a mistake, whether it seemed to be your sin or another person's sin? And end with gratitude. Be grateful that you saw peace. Be grateful that you saw peace instead of what you normally look upon, perhaps. Or maybe what you would have looked upon before starting this course. Notice that. Notice how peace reveals what's true. Notice how forgiveness reveals peace. There's only one answer to all of your problems, and this is it. So twice a day and every hour, and whenever it's called for, God's answer is some form of peace. All pain is healed. All misery replaced with joy. All prison doors are open. And all sin is understood as merely a mistake. Have a beautiful remembrance. I love you.